Go to the plant backyard and go to the sticker book. Then I want you to go to Rose, and after that read the description. Frost Rose once rode a majestic Yeti chomper into battle. The resulting victory was so convincing that the mere whisper of it makes zombies shake in their boots. You don't really know what this battle was, but I would argue it was a war against the Yeti King. Because if you go to the Yeti Chomper's description, you will read this. The Yeti Chomper hails from the frozen north, a frigid, barren tundra full of maple syrup, game developers, hockey pucks, and bagged milk. Okay, we don't know much about a war because of that, but we know the Rose rode a Yeti Chomper in a war, and we now know the Yeti Chomper is from the north. What else is in the north in this game? That's right, it's the Great White North, you fucking stupid. Let's just start off with the map design, and then later on from there, we'll just put the lore together. So we know we start off in a submarine, meaning we came from a distant place, underwater, and now we landed here. This submarine is called the ZZ Sea Boss, a U-boat. And we can see it has an eye at the top, it has like a mouth in the front, and like something from a fish at the back. In the submarine, we see a poster with Sambas next to it, and it says, your mission is to wake up the Yeti, meaning we're here to rescue the Yeti King. So the first proof of the Yeti Chomper coming from this place starts in Barky File, and when you look around this place, you will see syrup. And what did we see in the description from Yeti Chomper? It was syrup, where he came from, which is the north. We can see more of this. We use Dave's Pine Syrup. Now that we confirmed that the Yeti Chomper is from the Great White North, we still have to establish what this war was. But what I'm looking at right now, as you can see here, is an Arctic Trooper. It's frozen in ice. And when we go down here, we see a flower indicating the plant team as the winners. Did the war already happen? So this is my theory. The Yeti Chomps were just chilling in the north. They got attacked by the Yeti King, and I'll get to the motives later, but just go with it for now. So they got attacked. And the Frost Rose heard about this, and then went to the north to help the Yeti Chompers and to get their base back. According to the evidence, the Frost Rose succeeded with this rebellion army, and the Yeti King got defeated. And now look at him. He's frozen, captured, held hostage. This is why we see a hockey field. So, okay, the Chompers were chilling, the Yeti King just came in, he started ruling, and in their time of ruling, he let like zombies just play hockey games. Then, like a while later, the Frost Rose came in and started a rebellion, the Yeti King lost, and now we're back, and we see these hockey fields again. What's interesting to me is, where's Crazy Dave in all of this? Surely he has to do something, right? And look over there. That's Yeti King's base. But what if I told you? That's actually Crazy Dave's freezer. Yeah. What if Crazy Dave used to live here but left because of the cold? The first piece of evidence I could find is this annoying part of the map. Dave's log lodge. And what else does it look like? It looks kind of like a treehouse, just like the backyard in a way, if you really pay attention. What if this was Crazy Dave's house first, and back there was his freezer? Funnily enough, it's basically confirmed. Dave's deep freeze. This is the freezer from Crazy Dave. But what is the point of the freezer exactly? Looking at this picture, SOS, save our seeds, meaning there was a crisis from seeds. And apparently freezing these seeds, we're gonna save the plants. We keep seeing them around the map. Join SOS, save our seeds. We see this right here, seeds in the freezer. We see ice lettuce, we see snow peas, they're all being frozen to stay good. Now we can actually come to a good conclusion of why the Yeti King attacked this place in the first place. It wasn't just because he liked to rule, it was just because of the Yeti chompers that he just didn't like. No, what if the reason the Yeti King attacked this place is because Zomboss sent the Yeti King to stop this rescue process? Because if you think about it, potentially, if this plan, this freezing the seeds plan of Dave fails, then he might lose to Dr. Zomboss entirely. All the zombies will just have a complete utter victory over all the plants. We don't know exactly the crisis of the seeds, maybe because freezing them makes them grow better or something, but all we do know is if this plan fails, then Crazy Dave's entire plant force loses and the zombies take over the world. That's why Dr. Zomboss sent the Yeti King, because he knew that. He knew if this plan failed, he would have a complete victory. The Yeti King's attack failed, and he got frozen at the end of the stage, but in the end, the soldiers managed to rescue him, and they won. Let me just put some extra evidences that I forgot to put in, and then after that, we're going to conclude everything, and then say everything in short. So the first thing I forgot to mention is the two footprints on the flags over there, indicating he is the ruler of this place. This proves that he was truly the ruler that lost to the Crossroads, and then he got recaptured by the zombies in the gameplay that you play. Next up is some more proof that Crazy Dave actually lived here. We can see here the very noticeable, and everybody recognizes this one, but it's a bed in the middle of a freezer. Did he actually sleep in the freezer though? I don't know, but it was cool to bring it up. Here's another indicator that Dave used to live here. There's a toilet, and I think that's a shower, but yeah. Okay, let's start concluding everything. So, there was Crazy Dave, maybe, but at least the Yeti Chompers in the north, and assuming Crazy Dave was here, he had a crisis with his seeds, and the only way to fix it was freezing the seeds in his big-ass freezer. This was a rescue plan that were on posters on the walls, and this actually got leaked, or Dr. Zomboss somehow found out. When he found out, he knew that if this rescue plan fails, then Crazy Dave loses against me completely. So, what he did was send a Yeti King towards this place because, you know, the Yeti King is good against ice and snow. This place is icy and snowy, so it was a perfect match. And the Yeti King succeeded with his ruling. Everybody lost, and he's now the new ruler. Eventually, the Frost Rose heard about this, and the Frost Rose went through the cities and neighbors, and he gathered all of the people in the town that were under the rule of the Yeti King. They all created an army together, started a rebellion, and guess what? They won. When they won, the Yeti King got frozen in that final section of the stage, which you see, which is evidence, and then eventually, later on, Dr. Zomboss found out the Yeti King actually won, but lost later on. If he doesn't do anything, then Crazy Dave's plan will succeed. So, what Dr. Zomboss did is send another army. There's no Yetis this time, there's no Yeti King, but just a frozen army back to rescue the Yeti King, and they succeeded. They did. That's the full conclusion. But there's one more thing I need to discuss. Now the big question is, since the Yeti King is freed, what happened afterwards? Did all the plants get annihilated? Probably. I'm not sure. But there's one thing we can conclude. And that is that the Yeti King got defeated once again, but this time, once and for all. If you remember this one, and I don't have any gameplay for this unfortunately, but back when boss hunts was still a thing, you could fight against the Yeti King. This fight probably took place after the Yeti King got freed. And notice how that fight's also in like a snowy environment, so that also indicates that map's kind of close to Grey White North. And he got defeated there, and that was the end of the Great White North story. I can't really say what happened to, the freezer, and if the zombies captured it again, or if they lost, or if they retreated after rescuing the Yeti King. Maybe. But at least we know the Yeti King got defeated in the end, and the plants won, with the Frost Rose being the big hero.